Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to bring you a little haul slash first impression on some new ColourPop goodies. So the main thing that inspired this haul was that Kathleen Lights came out with her new Zodiac collection with ColourPop. So this is the eyeshadow palette. I didn't get the whole collection because not everything was that interesting to me, but I definitely wanted to get the eyeshadow palette. I love her Dream Street palette and they're supposed to go well together. I also got the highlighter on the Cusp. They also have one in the shade Fire. And then I also got the Luxe lipstick in What's Your Sign, which is the nude. So I'm wearing all of those things on my face today. I also got a few other things, some of which I didn't get a chance to try yet, and you'll see when I talk about them in the video. But I also am wearing on my face this highlighter in Flexitarian and the lip gloss in Moonchild, which was also from Kathleen Lights. So if you want to see some first impressions on these products, then just keep on watching. All right, so I'm gonna start with the eyes because I just don't know if there's gonna be any fallout, if I'm gonna wanna clean it up at all. I think that's just safer. It's beautiful packaging. I mean, even on the insides, you'll see it really is beautiful. So you open it up, and then it has that beautiful navy packaging. I really think it's stunning. I think they did a really, really nice job. And it is small, but that's just like every other ColourPop palette, but you do have a nice big mirror on the inside. It's a nice size mirror, especially for a small palette like this. I think that's really nice. And then you've got all the beautiful shadows on the inside. Now today, I think that I am going to stick to just this palette, just for the sake of this first impression. I don't want, to use other things to make me feel a different way about it. But if you'd be interested in seeing, another video with me using this palette and maybe using it with the Dream Street palette, because Kathleen had said that they would go nicely together. If you want to see that, I could definitely do that. So let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in that. So that's the eyeshadow palette, which is just beautiful. And then of course later we will use the highlighter, beautiful black packaging for this one, but then of course it has the navy on the inside, which is really pretty because their normal packaging is like this, it's white. And so it's a nice little twist to have it with that navy. I think it looks really pretty. So this one is the shade on the Cusp. They also had Fire, which felt like it would be a little dark for me. This is even darker than I expected, actually, if you can see that there. But I think it is going to be nice on the skin. So we'll see how that looks. I'm kind of giving these another shot. If you had seen my highlighter collection and declutter, but also I think my blush collection and declutter, I did get rid of a lot of these, if not all of them actually, because at least for the highlighters, I did feel like I had other ones that were similar and it wasn't my favorite formula. And then for the blushes, they just weren't ones that I was reaching for because this formula just is tricky to me. And Kathleen was talking about the right way to use these. And so I'm gonna give that a try and I'm gonna see if I can fall back in love with these because this one looks beautiful. This one is Flexitarian, which is one that people just rave about. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna give it another shot. Then the last thing that I got from this collection, because of course I got a few other things as well, which I'll just show you really quickly because that's not what this video is really about, but I was getting a bunch of things, so I figured I would just, stock up on some things. So then this comes in this packaging right here. Whoop. It comes in this packaging right here, that beautiful navy color. It's one of their Luxe lipsticks from this collection. It's called What's Your Sign? So it's the more nudie shade one. And they really do feel very, very luxurious. And they have these beautiful stars embossed, which I think is really pretty. I have never tried any of these Luxe lipsticks before, so I'm really curious to try them. I love their lippy sticks. And, I like some of their other lip products too, so I'm excited to try this for sure. And just to show you some of the other things that I got, like I said, I got Flexitarian, so I'm gonna try that one, but I'm not gonna try that one today because I wanna try What's Your Sign? No, on the Cusp. I wanna try it on the Cusp today. So I'll just have to try this one another time and let you know later. I also got 2 eyeliners. I'm very excited about that. So one of them is Prance, which I have owned in the past. I needed to repurchase it and I hadn't purchased it again. It's a really pretty, it's really more of a baby blue, but it almost has a hint of periwinkle in it. It's really pretty. But then there's also Teaspoon that I've talked about before and I've been wanting to get this one. And right before I was gonna place my order, was sold out, but then it went back in stock. So I was really excited that I was able to get it. And then I got 2 lip glosses from them, and I really haven't tried any lip glosses from them. I have one that I got from an order a while back that was thrown in, I don't know if it was by accident or if it was just a freebie, but I've only used it once. It's sort of a darker pink color, so it's just not an everyday shade for me. And I only tried it once, so I can't really like form an opinion yet, but I wanted to try some more like nudie shades. So this one is the Kathleen Lights one from her last collection when she came out with the Dream Street palette. This one's called Moonchild, and it looks really pretty, and I had thought about getting it for a long time. I figured now was a good time to do it. And then I also got Fairy Floss, which is one that people talk about a lot. It's just a very like nudie pink color, so I'm excited to try those. I may put one of those lip glosses on top of this lipstick later. Obviously I can't use both, so we'll see which one I think I want to use later. But those are all the things that I got. So let's go ahead and get started with the eyeshadow palette. I did prime my eyes, as you can see, but I didn't set it with anything. I may go ahead and do that just so I don't have any blending issues. I haven't been setting my primer all the time now, which I find works pretty well usually, but I haven't tried that with this palette. So for a first impression, I just want to make sure and, you know, set it so that we don't have any issues. And since there's no color to do that, I'm just going to take my Wet n Wild Brulee eyeshadow and set this. There are a lot of great options in here, I will say, but I really think that I want to use some of these purpley tones. And this Libra one looks like a satin. Yeah, it's a little bit of a satin, but I think that I might be able to use that in my crease a little bit. So we will see. I'm gonna try and use that as like a transition shade. I'm definitely getting some kickback a little bit, and I'm not gonna tap off my brush just because I haven't done my face yet. So if we get fallout, it's okay. So I just wanna see how these perform without me getting rid of the excess. Yeah, see, I think this is gonna work fine as my transition shade because I don't think that the like any sheen that it has is coming through on the eyes. But you know, I don't know if you can tell when I show it to you that it has a little bit of a sheen. It's not quite as flat matte as some of these other mattes that are in there. I'm really excited to try this Sagittarius shade and the Scorpio, some of these beautiful plummy shades. And I think I might have to also try the Gemini just because I'm a Gemini. So I'm not really like, you know, huge into this kind of stuff, but it's kind of fun that, you know, people are coming out with these collections. And I will say that it makes me almost want to like find out more about it because I really don't know anything about it. But it's funny how like, even though I don't really care about it too much, whenever there's like, you know, a Gemini shade of something, I'm like always perking up to see like what it is. So this is actually a nice shade. So even though it's not, like I said, it's not like a flat matte, it can still kind of be used that way. So that's nice because this is a good one to go in, you know, before I go in with that Sagittarius. So now I'm gonna go in with the Sagittarius. This is definitely a darker one, so I'm gonna be a little more light-handed, but we'll see what happens. Wow, I will say I'm definitely noticing that these blend out really easily. I mean, you can see that. This is in real time. And I had, you know, I definitely was a little bit light-handed, but not anything crazy. Like I definitely put a good amount on my brush. And I'm being, you know, delicate. Like I'm not pressing hard, but they really are blending out very, very easily. Very easy to work with so far. And it's a dark shade. Going in a little bit heavier on this eye because I know that I can now. This is a very pretty shade. And it blends in really nicely with the Libra, the first shade that I used. There isn't a ton as far as like a highlight shade, you know, things like that. But again, you know, it goes nicely with her Dream Street palette, so you can use that one along with this one. Like I said, I'm not gonna do that today, but that is the idea. You know, I certainly don't mind pulling in other palettes. I mean, if I'm traveling, you know, I wanna be able to have an all-in-one palette. So this one maybe wouldn't be that for me if I was traveling. But other than when I'm traveling, I do not mind, you know, switching from palette to palette or even pulling out one shade to add a highlight or something like that. By the way, I'm not getting any fallout on my face so far. Of course, we haven't gone in with any shimmers yet, but just to let you know. The more that I'm looking at this, the more I think I probably am not going to use Gemini, just because I don't know if I want to put gold with these purple tones. I don't think that really goes so well. So I don't know, we'll see when we get there. But first I'm gonna go in with the Scorpio. And I'm not gonna use any type of base with this one. I'm just gonna go in with a flat brush to put this on, and we will see how that goes. When we get to the lighter shade that I'm gonna put in here, then I will probably go in with some type of glitter base. And I'll put it down dry just to see where we get, and if I need to wet it, then I will. And I don't mind wetting a shadow. So it looks pretty like that. It really doesn't need it. Let's just see what happens if we do wet it. Just to see how that, if that intensifies it more. Yeah, oh yeah. I like that better. Definitely like that better. You can do whatever you want, but if you want them to really pop, you want to wet it. Now for the inner part, I am going to put a little bit of a glitter base down. My Too Faced glitter glue. I think I'm gonna go in with the Cancer. I think that will go really nicely with it. And I will show you it dry first, and then I'll wet that one as well, probably. We'll see, but I probably will wet it. It is pretty without wetting it, for sure. But let's see where we can get with it wet, because definitely that the Scorpio shade, that did quite well when we wet it. So this is the Cancer again. Yeah, that amps it up a little bit more. Yeah, I would recommend wetting these shimmers unless you want them to be nice and soft, but if you want them to really pop, I think you need to wet them. And I'm not getting any fallout with those shimmers either. Again, it's still nice to do your eyes first just so that you don't have to worry about that. I've also been trying to do my eyes first when I know that I have the time to do that, because then it's really nice to be able to clean up those edges. I feel like I get kind of messy on the outer corners, and that really allows me to clean it up. You know, you can certainly do that with some more concealer, but if you've done your whole base, it's a lot harder to do that. So I'm just going back into Sagittarius, which is that darker shade, just to blend out those edges. And I think I probably am going to intensify that outer corner even a little bit more in a second. So far, everything is, you know, the quality that I have come to know and love from ColourPop's pressed shadows. You know, this is behaving the same way as my Dream Street palette. I'm gonna actually go in with the Capricorn here, which is very glittery. It's a black, but it's got lots of glitter in it, but I don't think it's gonna really translate that much. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to take this on a pencil brush because I want this to be very targeted. If I could even find a pencil brush, that would be good. It looks really pretty. I don't know that it will really show up that glittery. I don't know, we'll see. And I am, by the way, getting a little bit of fallout from that black if I wasn't careful to tap it off. So just keep that in mind. It's really just that glitter. It's not so much the black, but I don't think that it translates as that glittery on your eyes. You can get a little bit if you like tap it in, but I think when you try and blend it, it does go away and some of that falls down. So just keep that in mind. It looks beautiful in the pan, but I think when you put it on the eyes, it really is mostly just black. But it definitely is a good black to intensify that outer corner. It's definitely making this a much more smoky look, which I like. I'm just gonna touch up that Scorpio shade there because I feel like I lost a little bit of it when I was adding in that black. So far, I really think that this is pretty. I'm happy with it. I'm going to do the rest of my face, and we'll do the highlighter, the lower lash line, and then the lips. All right, so now we just need to do the highlighter and the lower lash line and the lips. Obviously, I haven't added mascara or anything yet either because I haven't finished my eyes. Let's do the highlighter first. So the way Kathleen said to apply this was she uses her fingers and she says that she just applies light pressure and kind of massages it in. So I'm gonna give that a try. That's the way that she says that she does it. So I'm gonna try that. First of all, I just wanna kind of swatch it. They are so soft, I will say. It looks beautiful. I'm gonna just try it on one finger just so I don't get too out of control. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna use the other finger to kind of, actually I think that works really, really well. It's still not my favorite way to apply a highlighter, but I mean, it looks beautiful. I think that that is a good way to apply it, I will say. If you're really, really light-handed, you won't move anything underneath. That is very pretty. I think actually I might take Flexitarian on my inner corners just so that I can at least try that one too. On the bridge of the nose, and the tip of the nose. But even though my nose isn't perfect, I still love the way that that looks. I just can't help it. I actually think that I am feeling that. Melts into the skin really, really nicely. Sorry, I just turned on my mirror so that I can see what I'm doing. I tend to go back and forth a little bit just so that I can make sure everything is nice and blended. Maybe I'll try putting a little bit, because this one's like much lighter, if you can see. Maybe I'll just take a tiny bit of this just right at the top of here, just because I want to use both. Yeah, that is really pretty. Okay, yeah. I love them both, but this one definitely adds a real pop. Let's see if I take a brush, and I'll of course take a synthetic brush. I'll try and put that on my inner corners since there isn't a shade for that. Ooh, that's pretty, yeah. Okay, I like that. Let's do the lower lash line. As much as I want to try something else, I feel like I like these tones and I want to just stick with that, and I'll try some of the other shades another time. I'll certainly do a full review of the products that I got from this collection. This won't be the end of it. Even if I end up doing another video with this palette and Dream Street, I'm still going to come back and do a review. So of course, all the shades that I didn't use today, I'll continue to use this palette and use those shades so that I can talk about those as well. So I think that I am gonna go in, first I'm gonna go in with the Libra here. That was that first shade that we used as a crease shade. I'm just gonna kind of sweep that all underneath. And then I'm gonna take the Sagittarius, that darker shade, and I'm gonna put that a little closer to the lash line and not take it all the way in, about halfway. I'm gonna take a flat definer brush and then take Capricorn, definitely making sure to tap that one off really nicely. Just against the lash line, right at the edge here. Just to add a little bit of that darkness. That's really it. I really wish I could use one of these today, but it's just not going with this look. And I don't know, I just really wanted to use some of these purpley tones in the look today, so I'll have to try these another time. But I know that when I've used these in the past, and I still do have some in my collection, they're a little bit hit or miss. Some of them are better than others. They all look good if you put them on your hand or if you put them like on your eye. But as far as like in the waterline, definitely some are better than others. I know I really did like this Prance shade. People love this Teaspoon one, so I'm sure I'm gonna do well with those. But I know there are some shades that aren't quite as good as others, at least from what I got. You know, I certainly could have gotten duds, you know, I don't know. I'm going to take my trusty, my Laura Mercier Caviar Stick. I use this a lot in my waterline because it's just sort of a soft purple, and it goes with a lot of looks like this. All right, I'm just gonna go and add mascara real quick, and then we will go on to the lips. So of course you could add falsies. I just usually choose to skip them if I can. And so of course I did. So now I'm gonna go in with What's Your Sign. I'm not gonna do any type of lip liner just because I don't wanna adjust the shade at all. I just wanna see how this performs by itself. And like I said, I probably am gonna add one of those glosses on top. I will just decide which one when we get to it. Feels really nice. Doesn't have a smell, just like a lipstick smell. Oh, it glides on super nicely. It's definitely pretty nude, but I think it's a really pretty nude. It doesn't look too pale on me, I mean, I think. Very creamy and comfortable, but pretty matte looking. These are their, you know, their cream ones. They have matte ones too, but I think that looks really pretty. And I do think that I am going to, I think I'm gonna do the Moonchild one on top just because I don't wanna make it more pale nude. This will make it pretty pale. And so I'll just have to let you know what I think about that. And this one has a nice shimmer in it too. I don't think it has any smell to it. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. That's nice. It doesn't feel sticky. I'm very happy with that. I'm glad that I got that. So final thoughts, obviously this is just my first impression. I literally have not used any of these before just now. So, you know, stay tuned for a full review. The Zodiac palette, I mean, I'm very, very happy with it. I know that I like ColourPop pressed shadows. So, you know, these seem to be performing the same way that those do. So there's nothing that I see bad about this. This shade doesn't really translate super glittery on the eyes, but that doesn't bother me too much. I feel like you get a little bit of it. You'll get more if you don't blend it away too much. Otherwise, it's gonna blend away. And that shade definitely was the only one that I noticed had some fallout. The other ones really didn't. So far, so good. I mean, I've only obviously, you know, dipped my toes in. I need to use this a lot more, but I'm really looking forward to it because so far I'm very happy with the way that these performed. The highlighters, I'm really excited about these because I think I didn't really know the right way to use these. I definitely like the way that Kathleen suggested to use them way more than the other way that I used to apply them with my fingers or even with a brush or a sponge. I definitely like the way that this went onto the face when I do it that way. So I'm gonna definitely give these more of a try. So I'm excited to, you know, maybe fall back in love with these. I'm really excited about that. The lipstick, I think seems really, really nice. I enjoyed that, and I only tried obviously one gloss, but so far really enjoying that as well. So definitely stay tuned for more thoughts, but I think that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.